Welcome back to another episode of Red Devils Talk and, of course, Manchester United transfer news. Quite a lot has happened within the last 24 hours, should I say. Mainly so, Lenny Yoro officially here we go by Fabrizio Romano, and today he will definitely be finalizing his move by signing the official documents, and then all we have to do is wait for that official announcement from Manchester United itself. I am still excited and over the moon that we are getting Lenny Yoro. Of course, I've spoken about him quite extensively in the previous video. If you haven't seen that, go and check it out. But today I want to speak about which transfer happens next, and that's just not incomings, but sales as well. De Ligt, Ugarte, Rabiot early this morning, news came out about him. And of course, those who are for sale, the likes of Casemiro, McTominay, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, Hannibal Mabry, also another player that is for sale. So we'll speak about all of that in today's video, and I normally just give my opinion based on what the reports are out there. But I hope that you guys are doing good. It's quite cold here where I am. I hope you are in a much warmer place than me, but let's get into the video. So I want to start, of course, with the players that are coming in next. So before we pushed for Lenny Yoro, and it was an opportunity to get such a world-class talent as we know who he is, the next player that we should be looking at perhaps is De Ligt or maybe even Ugarte. But these type of signings or any more signings coming in is basically dependent upon the likes of Casemiro, McTominay, etc., the players I've just mentioned, leaving, whether that be selling them or at least loaning them out to get them off the wage books. For my opinion, I'd probably say that all of them should be sold, because once all of them are sold, we are able to sign more players. And getting in two midfielders is very, very important, especially if McTominay does leave and Hannibal Mabry. But for De Ligt, we need to be getting either a Lindelof or a Maguire out of the door, because if one of them are still here or both, then it's difficult for us to get De Ligt based on the number of centre backs that we do have. Now, I still do want to get De Ligt, not just because of us having to get another centre back, but someone that has the experience to come in and start at a big club next to Lisandro Martinez. Yoro has got world-class potential, do not get me wrong. He is a very, very good footballer, a special footballer at that. But he's not that much experienced as a Matthias de Ligt. And if we can get de Ligt next to Martinez starting more games than Lenny Yoro, then that would give us a very good centre-back base to rotate with. Because yes, Martinez can play on the left-hand side, but I'm sure he'll be able to do so on the right-hand side as well, if need be. But Martinez can be a partner for Matthias de Ligt or Lenny Yoro. And if Lisandro Martinez is injured, both Matthias de Ligt and Lenny Yoro can play next to each other and would be just as strong as a defensive partnership, even without Lisandro Martinez, based solely on the qualities that they do possess. Now, if Maguire leaves, that obviously would mean that Lindelof would stay, and of course Evans already signed a one-year contract, so that would be our centre-back options. If Maguire leaves, sorry, if Lindelof leaves, then the same would apply. Maguire would stay at the club and be a third choice centre back behind De Ligt and Lenny Yoro, of course. So at least then, whether Maguire or Lindelof stays, we would have someone at the club that can come in and do a decent job if we are, again, like last season, having so many injuries in defense. And these sales must happen before we can even look at getting in a Matthias de Ligt. Now, the same is said about Manuel Ugarte. Now, it has been reported that we are going to give an offer to PSG for Ugarte in the next coming days, but it's most likely to be a loan option, sorry, a loan with an option to buy, simply because it would allow Erik ten Hag to spend more money on other positions that can be shall I say, not rectified, but at least fill a few gaps. Because if you think about it, we do still need a left back. Yes, Malasia is training again. Yes, Luke Shaw is back and getting back to the fitness that we know that he should be at. And of course, he's our number one left back when fully fit. But we are going to need someone to come in and challenge Luke Shaw and Malasia because both of their injury records are not good at the moment. So we do need a left back to come in that is reliable, that one can be a backup, but two also compete against the likes of Shaw for a starting place in Manchester United starting 11 for this season and seasons to come. Wan-Bissaka is another player that is looked to be seen to go to West Ham. McTominay as well. Both of these players are looked at by West Ham as players that they can get from Manchester United. Now, the fee that United basically wants, based on the reports that came through from West Ham, it is said that we want up to 15 million plus add-ons. For me personally, based on how good Wan-Bissaka is as a defender, he should be sold for, at least in my opinion, between 20 to 30 million. That's just my opinion. I think he is that good and would do a very good job for a team like West Ham and the way that they want to play. With McTominay, it needs to be at least an offer between 30 to 35 up to 40 million if we can. He cannot be sold for 15, 20 million. That would absolutely be a smack in the face of the type of player that he can be for a team that needs and can use his qualities. We know that he's a good player, but he's not good enough for Manchester United. He does a job for us when he does play, but he's not a player that we want to start week in, week out. So if we get out a McTominay and a Maguire, Hannibal Mabry as well, who I think clubs will be looking at, and Wan-Bissaka, then that does make room for the likes of the Ligt to come in, the likes of Manuel Ugarte, and whoever else we might be looking at in terms of bringing in players. It's not entirely out of the question that the likes of Ivan Toney can still be signed by us because, as I said in previous videos, he told Brentford that he wants to join Manchester United. So we do have the upper hand in that regard, and the fee that Man United think they can get him for is around the 40 million mark. So if we are able to do good business selling players, being the likes of Casemiro, etc., then we can bring in a De Ligt, Ugarte, and maybe an Ivan Toney. Now, there's two things I want to just say quickly before I sign off. One, João Neves is touted by PSG and they are busy talking to his representatives and Benfica for a deal of up to 70 million euros. Now, I do want João Neves just as much as I wanted Lenny Yoro because I think as well, another young player, 19 years old, with the world at his feet and is a generational talent in midfield. And he can come in and play alongside Kobe Mainu. He can play alongside Ugarte. He can play alongside Bruno, Casemiro, Eriksen. You name it. These are all players that he can play alongside. However, if his price is too high, I do not think that Ineos would go in for that type of player right now, simply because one, Ugarte is a much cheaper option and is more aggressive in his defensive play as a defensive midfielder. And João Neves is more of a number 8 that can play as a deep line playmaker alone, but he's more suited to having the freedom of a number 8 like a Kobe Mainu. So it's a bit difficult for Ineos just to go and say, hey Benfica, we are going to match or even better PSG's offer and get him, because we just did that for Lenny Yoro. So one to look out for in terms of a player that I do want and that hopefully Manchester United can get. Secondly, I do think that if we do have more money, we could be looking at the free agent of Adrian Rabiot, who is a player that has come out according to reports saying that his dream move is Manchester United. Now with free agent players, normally they want higher wages, but Ineos' new wage structure that they're trying to implement will maybe perhaps not be as bad as we think. Yes, there's a lot of talk about his mother being his agent and how aggressive she can be in a transfer negotiation, but I'm sure basically because he is a free agent, Adrian Rabiot can come in and be a very good footballer for Manchester United. if we sell McTominay, if we sell Casemiro, if we sell Hannibal Mabry, we need to replace that holes with midfielders. And bringing in a Ugarte, bringing in a Adrian Rabiot that is a free agent will definitely raise the ceiling of the midfield options that we have, because then basically Kobe Mainu can start with Ugarte. He could start with Adrian Rabiot. The same type of quality will remain. And it's not just him you have to remember. We've got Mason Mount as well. Toby Collier, who is highly rated by Manchester United and Erik ten Hag, can come in and basically be that Kobe Mainu of last season. Get him the opportunities when he does and showing his quality and slowly but surely developing his way into the first team like Kobe Mainu. We know exactly how Erik ten Hag has showed his ability to develop young talent into world-class potential. So transfers are going to happen, but sales need to be made first. And even though there aren't any offers for Casemiro from Saudi that we are expecting, there will be clubs that will come in for him, and the club does want to sell him. Same for Maguire, same for McTominay, Wan-Bissaka, and Hannibal Mabry, and Lindelof, of course. So there will be sales before we get in the likes of the Ligt and Ugarte. But then again, if we were able to do transfers and get players in before selling, that also is quite fantastic, because now we know Lenny Yoro is going to be finished before the USA tour and will probably be part of that tour. You have Joshua Zirkzee, who also will perhaps join the team for the USA preseason tour. Yes, we have Rangers coming up on the weekend, and that's another friendly that would not be have much consequence on for what is going to happen for the rest of preseason and the season that is coming. But once again, it would be a game to see exactly who's going to step up, whose fitness is much better, and just exactly who Ten Hag is focusing on in terms of bringing them into the first team, because it will be quite a young squad again, just like it was against Rosenborg. But Manchester United, even according to Fabrizio, are very, very active in the transfer market, and that is fantastic to hear. But thank you for joining me in today's video. Of course, I appreciate your support. Subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and let me know in the comments what you think about Manchester United's transfer business thus far. Have a wonderful day further, Red Devils. See you soon. Thanks for watching. If you want more content on Manchester United, like, share, and subscribe.